In the news tonight, as a hotel makes about 200 workers redundant, the BHTA says that's not unusual for this time of year. The Agriculture Minister refutes claims that imported chicken wings are having an adverse impact on local producers. Barbadians using the QEH's prescription delivery service advised to refill 1 week in advance.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you so much for tuning in. In our top story tonight, the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association has responded to concerns raised about Sandals Resort Barbados laying off over 200 workers. BHTA Chairman Javon Griffith says the number of workers is no surprise given the size of the resorts, and seasonal layoffs are the norm.
Our industry locally fires on all cylinders from November to April, and within the month of May things start to slow in pace. It gets slower in June. Thankfully, because of crop over, we always see a rise in business in July and August, and then it starts to get very, very quiet. By the third week of August, there's always a mass exodus of families from the island, and that is the time when many hotels and restaurants on the island choose to close. What generally will happen is that employees in the industry will be paid their vacation pay, either 3 or 4 weeks, depending on their length of service, and anything beyond that, they will then be given a termination of services or layoff certificate, and that covers the balance of the period.
The BHTA chairman was also asked about the new weekly pay rates and employment conditions for tourism industry workers, which Minister of Labour Colin Jordan announced in Parliament last week. Mr. Griffith said he could not comment on that development because he's yet to see the document.
At this stage, that is not something that we are ready to comment on because we have not received the official documentation from the Chief Labour Officer as it pertains to that ministerial statement. We have requested it, and we hope to receive that later this week, or at least ahead of our press briefing on Thursday. But at this stage, all we have to go by is a YouTube video of the presentation in Parliament. It's not yet been uploaded to Parliament's website for the public to peruse.
With the treatment of workers in the hotel industry under scrutiny, particularly within the last few years, the BHTA chairman also commented on that issue, contending that workers are generally treated fairly.
No particular issue with the way that tourism workers are treated. What you will find from time to time is certain operators may be highlighted for different infractions, and these are usually very small, minute cases, and they're dealt with on a case-by-case basis. But it's not the case that we can just generalize the entire industry because of the actions of one person. In general, all of our members always seek to have the best possible working environments for their team members and to make sure that they reap the greatest benefits from the jobs which they hold.
The Agriculture Minister is tonight refuting claims that imported chicken wings are adversely impacting local producers. Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security, Indar Weir, is stressing that there has been no increase in poultry imports. He was responding to suggestions that government's decision to import chicken wings for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup is severely affecting the operations of small farmers. He has given the assurance the 2 containers of chicken wings imported by the Barbados Agricultural Development and Marketing Corporation ahead of the World Cup have not impacted the local market.
There is a shortage of chicken wings available based on the demand, and the major poultry producers in Barbados, the big ones, are out of capacity. So therefore, they don't have enough to meet the demand. If there are small poultry producers who are having challenges, this could be a marketing issue, and this is where the BAS needs to step up and play its part.
Mr. Weir also says the price of chicken should be reduced if there's a glut on the market.
My government and my ministry have the interests of the public at heart when it comes to prices, and if we have an increase in production, then price can come down. And that is what we have always said. We've worked with the poultry producers. We've asked them to keep prices down. And if people are not getting their products sold, there's an opportunity to bring down the prices, do sales, do pop-up markets. Various things can be done.
Meanwhile, Managing Director of Gales Agro Products believes small farmers now have tons of homegrown poultry meat in cold storage because they estimated a much bigger demand for World Cup and crop over. However, he says the poultry meat on cold storage will be needed in the coming months.
So the chicken that was produced during those months of June and July has been more than was needed and therefore has gone into cold storage. Because of the drop in production in August and September, that means in October and going into November, there will be maybe less chicken, less fresh chicken available than the market demands, and therefore the frozen chicken will get consumed at that point.
The Democratic Labour Party is gearing up for its annual conference. This comes as its internal disputes linger with the suspension of two top members, the substantive president and general secretary. The disciplinary committee was set to meet in relation to that matter today. Acting General Secretary Pedro Shepherd has stressed the upcoming elections at the conference, which takes place from August 23rd to 25th, will be only for certain positions.
We have an election for officers of the party. That is the president, vice presidents, general secretary, etc. We have that. We have election for general council members, and we also have elections for executive members. This year, we are having election for general council members, 6 general council members, and once the general council is completed, then they would then have an election for 10 persons, I think it is, to serve on the executive. But we are not electing officers of the party for this year.
Party officials have announced several new features for the conference, including electronic voting.
The electronic voting, we have done a pre-test of it among both the seniors and the youth in the party, as we did a dry run of it. We are using electronic election bunny, as we have also used various institutions such as UWI, which has a bigger level of participation in terms of over 5,000 UE students and stuff like that. What we're also doing that is that those who probably will not be technical savvy can still come into the headquarters. And when they come into the headquarters, there will be also some assistance guiding persons how to navigate on the computers as well. So we are also having you can also vote on your cell phones through the SMS, but you can also come into the headquarters on that day and guided by the young people, helping them how to navigate the system.
Although Tropical Storm Ernesto passed well north of Barbados, outer bands from the system stirred the seas, generating high waves and swells. The sight jolted many fisher folk, especially those in Oistins, into action to pull vessels into safe harbor. Blue Economy Minister Adrian Ford says the swift action prevented the outcome from being worse. We'll take a break here, but when we come back, some advice for patients using the hospital's prescription delivery service. Barbadians using the Queen Elizabeth Hospital's home delivery service are being asked to call the pharmacy department to have their prescriptions refilled 1 week in advance. Chief Operations Officer Dr. Christine Greenidge says this reminder is necessary to avoid patients running out of medication during the ongoing hurricane season. She was speaking to CBC News following the Pulse radio show on Q100.7 FM.
When we run out of the medication, then we disrupt the normal therapeutic levels of the drug in our system, and it's going to decrease the effect of why you are taking the medication for. So again, prompt, just remember, 7-day supplies, call and have your prescriptions refilled and reordered.
And the Chief Operations Officer is reminding members of the public they're to wear masks when visiting the hospital. There's a suggestion a union is needed to represent the island's artists. It has come from founder, producer, and chief executive officer of the United International Arts Expo, Carlos Cobham, who believes it's an important step to change the perception of art as not just a hobby, but as a career.
I think we need both government, corporate Barbados to surround the arts more so that it would create further opportunity, and then also establish a union, right here in Barbados that would represent our creatives across the spectrum. So from literary to filmmakers to producers, dancers, every aspect of the arts, I think we need to represent on a better level so that there's a level of professionalism and they're respected for the work that they do, and even when they're asked to perform, they're treated with that respect.
Mr. Cobham was speaking ahead of a walk scheduled for September 7th to sensitize Barbadians that art matters. This will be followed by the United International Arts Expo.
The goal for that is to unify the creative industry. So whether you're in film, theater, music, dance, I'm so grateful to have persons like Don Lisa and Jennifer Seeley and a few others that are very much interested in coming together, Pearline Bartlett and, different dancers, singers, Janelle Headley, coming together so that we could give back to our youth as well and educate them about the arts. And we're also looking to have international talent come on in to Barbados to also give back to our creatives and collaborate as well. So no matter if you're at the pinnacle, the in-between, no starting out, we want this experience to be one where we learn, share, and grow together, and of course, network.
Youth from one St. Michael community are giving back to the hurricane-ravaged islands of Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Organizer of the popular garden party, A Journey to Yoruba, Jamani Brathwaite, says after they saw the destruction to the islands, his team decided since Barbados was less impacted, the least they could do was to give to those countries. Donations include water, non-perishables, clothes, and baby supplies.
I feel like in order for me to get change, it gotta start somewhere. So I don't mind it starting with the youth. It gotta start somewhere. And the Journey to Yoruba team, yeah. You don't need to have the most to give back. Just give back from a little. Every bit counts.
Mr. Brathwaite adds that proceeds from the garden party will be used to uplift people in impoverished communities across Barbados. The group is also set to host a breakfast feeding program on August 25th. Time for a look at the sports. Anne-Marie Burke joins us live in studio. Good evening, Anne-Marie.
Good evening to you, Lisa. And this first half will be all about cricket, as Barbados-born Jacob Bethel led the Birmingham Phoenix to victory over Jamaica's Rovman Powell's Trent Rockets in the 100s men 2024 competition last evening in Edgbaston. Being sent into bat, the Rockets were dismissed for 118 off their 100 balls. Tom Alsop top scored with 51. That included 5 fours and 2 sixes, while Powell only managed one. Player of the match, Tim Southey, took 5 for 12 from his 20 deliveries. Phoenix replied with 124 4 off 93 balls to win by 6 wickets. Bethel top scored with 38 not out. That included 5 fours and a 6. The amassed Barbados Masters have extended their winning streak to 3 matches on their current tour of the United Kingdom. Playing today against Tamworth Cricket Club at the Snow Dome in Cardiff, amassed Masters won the toss and scored 236 for 4 off their 35 overs. Owen Birch top scored with 54. That included 7 fours, while Antonio Morris added 51 and Ronaldo Highland 50. Tamworth in reply were bowled up for 214 in 33.1 for amassed Barbados Masters to win by 22 runs. Morris came back with the ball to take 5 for 25, while Brian Johnson had 3 for 33. Before today's match, amassed Barbados Masters first defeated Wales over 60s by 7 wickets. Scores Wales 174 for 7, amassed Masters 178 for 3. Brian Johnson top scored with 57 not out. They then defeated Wales over 50s by 4 wickets. Wales over 50s 188 for 7, with Johnson taking 4 for 58. Amassed Barbados Masters 189 for 6. Keith Seal 81 retired with 6 fours. Their next match is on Thursday against Broomley's Cricket Club. Well, Lisa, I take my pause here. When I return, there's all of the road tennis action from the Barbados Road Tennis Open, as well as some netball news.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Looking forward to that second half. But until then, up next on Newsnight is the Business Report. Tricia Reese comes from a family of cooks and cooking is in her blood. The former Lester Vaughan secondary school student tells the Business Report her development started with encouragement from her father, and it is her wish to cook for the president, luxury liners, and break into the overseas market. On tonight's Yes Business Report, she talks about her roadmap with Trevor Thorpe.
Currently, Tricia Reese offers a takeaway service. Her menus include an assortment of wings that could be personalized according to your needs and tastes, and which are bolstered by signature sauces. She recalls how it all started for her and F&F Delights.
It all started when I was a little girl. I always wanted to be a cook. I also always wanted to be an entrepreneur. It all started when one day I had asked my father, "Daddy, can I cook?" And I thought he would have said no, but he said, "Tricia, go ahead, and if you need anything, if you need my help, just call me." And so I just went on, I cooked, and I did very well. And after that, I was just cooking every single day. And I was actually in primary school when it had started. So it actually started from when I was a little girl.
The new enterprise gives a new twist to traditional Barbadian dishes.
We also cater to our customers' needs. We make sure that our customers are satisfied. We make sure our customer service is to great service. So we make sure all of those things are to a T for F&F Delights.
She tells the Yes Business Report her development has its origins with the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme, and she's hoping to have her own shop, but at present shares the building with the Level Up Barber Salon.
Youth entrepreneurship was super helpful for me. Before I started, I thought that I knew everything about being an entrepreneur, and even myself. When I started, it made me question a lot of things about myself and how I actually started a business back in 2020, but I had a lot of challenges. And here we are starting again from fresh in 2024. And it made me question a lot of things that I was doing before, and I actually improve on those things, and youth entrepreneurship really helped me with the pricing and self-worth and product worth and all of those things. And I think that anyone that wants to get into entrepreneurship should actually go into the youth entrepreneurship scheme, because it's a really good program. It's something that you will probably have to pay for. The knowledge you will have to pay for elsewhere, and here is youth entrepreneurship teaching us these things.
Despite being nestled in the busy Black Rock area, she says finding them is not difficult at all.
F&F Delights is located in Deacons Mill Road, opposite Gunland Road. If you're coming from Chanel Supermarket, you'll come down until you get to Crumbs, and then after you will see two houses after, and then you will see a bright yellow shop there, and you will see the sign F&F Delights outside. Or you can message us on Instagram, FF_Delights246, or you could also contact us at 246-257-5075.
And the young entrepreneur says among her future plans is offering employment to others.
My future is to get into international market with my cherry barbecue sauce and my strawberry barbecue sauce, and also introduce more flavors to the market. And also I want to open up some more job opportunities, and also look forward for more opportunity for F&F Delights.
She adds that offering pudding and sauce is part of her plans, as well as having a presence in the pop-up events organized by the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme. Trevor Thorpe for the Yes Business Report.
A developmental program for senior school boys is reportedly bearing fruit. The assertion from the founder and producer of the Mr. Executive Inter-School Business and Gentlemen's Challenge, Winston Cumberbatch. The competition, which started at the St. Leonard's Boys School, has now expanded to 11 schools.
These programs help to place them into a different mindset, where they recognize that they have value, they have potential that they can develop. And I have seen this through the years that we've had it, where these students who had registered and gone through the program had actually, some of them were able to gain full permanent employment. Some of them, the parents had said they had changed them totally. And I believe that these kind of programs is what, I mean, it's not panacea for all the ills that we experience in society, but certainly it's one of the best ways to get our young men to really step out and show what they are worth in our communities.
Mr. Cumberbatch explained the various segments on which the 5 finalists will be judged during the finals on August 25th.
They'll be seeing these young men involved in 4 main segments. One is a job interview on stage in front of everybody, right, for a job that they're seeking. Then there's a CEO business pitch where they've imagined themselves as the CEO of a company, and they must stand and present a project to develop the business for 3 minutes, all right, as if the audience were the employees. Then there's the business modeling display, and the key point, or the point that everybody looks forward to, is the date. And remember, it's a gentleman's challenge as well. So the date is where they invite a young lady to a restaurant, a simulated restaurant on stage with real waiters, real maitres, real food, and they take that lady to the restaurant and show chivalry and demonstrate that these things are still alive.
Let's welcome back Anne-Marie now, because she promised us road tennis and a lot more in this half. Anne-Marie?
Oh yes, Lisa, and that's just where I would start, as the Barbados Road Tennis Open continues to move across the island. The latest action was at the Silver Hill course. Now, these matchups were some of the keenest contested so far. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty stage of the competition, where a win is a place in the round of 32. Emar Edwards, backing the screen, had already secured the first game at 21-9 over Raheem Nurse, and this is into the second. Edwards, who made it to last year's quarterfinals, is not coming out to play this year. He looks so much better, and watch as he makes Nurse work the court to keep the ball in play, some serious power behind the returns before driving it nicely down left court. Nurse did not see that coming. Nurse, the younger brother of last year's runner-up Shaquem, had shining moments too. This was too hot to handle for Edwards. But class is class. Watch a return from Edwards. Oh, no, that was a shot. And the crowd loved it. But Nurse staged a late comeback that saw Edwards stuck at match point for quite a bit. Nurse turned on the heat, and Edwards seemed to be holding his own. But the return is long, as Nurse went from down by 12 to claw back by 4 more points. Edwards started to lose his rhythm, and the errors proved costly. But then Edwards said enough is enough and closed it out with a signature power shot. Second game won at 21-11, and he's into the round of 32. Joining Edwards will be Antonio Yearwood, facing the screen in the yellow shirt, who got the better of Marcellus Gustave in this match. Edwards took the first game at 21-14, and this is the second where he was in command from early, nicely effecting the soft drop shot to claim the point. These two had some long rallies, testament to the overall standard of play. And just where Yearwood thought he could win again on that soft return, Gustav beat him at his own game. Gustav actually gave some resistance in the latter stages, and this fault made Yearwood have to go at it again to take the win. Game and match point for a second time, and the two go at it with an easy knock-for-knock session before Gustav returns too hard and has Yearwood the game at 21-17 and the match. Kurt Allen and Trevor Eiffel had the crowd's full attention, as this was a tense one. Allen took the first game 21-17, Eiffel the second 21-15, so this is the third. And the ever-animated Allen successfully beats Eiffel to his right. But his overzealousness quite often leads to his demise on some plays. He goes into the net. Allen with the serve. Eiffel responds. But this time Eiffel will go out of court. No, Allen has not won yet, but as usual is overzealous as he takes the lead. And this was the point that took him to game and match point. Not so easy achieved though, as Eiffel was really making him work for it. Instead of going for the smashy easy returns, and Eiffel then falls into the net. Allen smelling victory. So here we go. Allen with the serve, and the exchanges look good. But then Eiffel puts a bit too much power on the return. That's it. Allen takes the final game at 21-18 and immediately erupts into celebration mode. The nightcap match gave all the fireworks in the second game, as Brandon Arundel backing the screen and claiming this point to con Ezekiel Ward. Ward with the serve had lost the first game at 21-18 and seemed to be falling behind here too. Arundel with a good recovery. But talk about keeping up the play, as Ward was able to fight back and pull the game level at 20. And with that fall from Arundel, was up 21-20. This one will go the extra mile. This play started with the score locked again at 22-all. And then Arundel goes into the net and Ward is back in charge. But this is where it will be decided. Arundel now up 24-13. The point game, and the match will be his. The seesaw battle hanging in the balance. And then Ward falls. Great game by both men, but Arundel prevails at 25-23. The round of 32 is firming up nicely. The Barbados Netball Association's Technical Director Pamela Hesson is calling for local support as the national senior team seeks to improve its world ranking in an upcoming home series. The team, currently ranked 15th in the world, hopes to improve their ranking once they secure the win against Northern Ireland, who are ranked 11th.
Come out and support your national senior netball team, the Beijing Gems. They have a world ranking 3-match test series from the 23rd of August until the 27th of August at Wildy, the gymnasium. We would love to see everybody there. Even people who have never seen netball before played, I'm sure they'll see some exciting games. Please come along and support the Gems. Home advantage is always a great thing to have, and I'm sure the girls will appreciate your support.
And Lisa, that's it for sports. Back over to you.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. And that's our news for tonight. On behalf of the entire team, thanks for tuning in. Good night.